My name is Michael L. Roberts. This is the EPK for my debut vocal record, Moving is Living, on the Nota Bene label. The record is called Moving is Living, partly because it's a lyric in the opening track, I'll Go My Own Way, which I wrote first and was very much very much the definition of what the record was going to be. The determination of the title, the determination of the lyric, and the sound of the album as a whole.
The platitudes, but I'll go my own way. Never dug a good thing, born out of despair. This generation's falling, so if you're willing to dare.
My lyrics are very much inspired by the poetic influences that I have enjoyed and immersed myself in from childhood, from Alfred Lord Tennyson to the Hispanic poets of the 20th century, people like Pablo Neruda, Octavio Paz, Gabriel Garcia Lorca, and then in terms of my jazz-related output, very much the beat poets, the beat era, Jack Kerouac, Allen Ginsberg, William Burroughs.
Here I fall in a whirlwind of darkness, sighing like a shameless fool that's lost his way, still believing you could see the circles of despair that have consumed.
Between the Hispanic poet language and beat poetry, I fused the two and sought to create my own sense of poetic language from those influences and thereby take that forward in the writing of my lyrics.
Free-flowing rivers, for me we inspired, give us your eyes to.
When I was a teenager, I started to think seriously about what I wanted to do, and the more that I performed, the more I knew that I wanted to be involved in jazz for the rest of my life. So I went to Leeds College of Music, which at the time was the only BA Jazz Studies in the country. There I was very fortunate to meet, among many groovy individuals, Chris Montague on guitar and Rob Barron on piano, who I'm delighted to say are still with me to this day and on the record. I left Leeds and came to London, and since then have been working in various aspects as a writer, as a pianist, as a vocalist, as an arranger, and thankfully have carried Chris Montague and Rob Barron with me. I've also met many great musicians along the way, and through the sax player Vasilis Sinopoulos I came across the bass playing of Mark Rose and the drums of Chris Nickolls, who also adorn this record. I was also very lucky to meet Anita Wardell, who had a tremendous impact on me when I first moved to London and was incredibly helpful. And I always knew that when the time came for the debut record to be made, there was no question that Anita wouldn't feature on the record. Anita introduced me to a man who had by far and above the greatest impact on my artistic development, the legendary jazz singer Mark Murphy. He came to London and I was at the workshop, and he asked me if I'd like private lessons, so we hired out the 606 Jazz Club for the afternoons, and I basically learned more in those afternoons than I'd ever learned in the rest of my life, or I think I ever will ever again.
Imagine open roads laid out before me, rainbow worlds of dust and light that breaks, illuminating all that can restore you. Exaltation soon, doors that open to reveal the pathways toward the feet that calls for you to take your place. From moving scars that carve the story on your face. Exaltation song, life and love can rise so high above the wilderness of danger.
Through a process of osmosis, I was able to take on board everything that he taught me and incorporate it into my own work, and it really gave me a sense of purpose and a sense of a vision as to what I wanted to create with my own voice.
Moving is living, I'll go my own way.